Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Current Affairs 365 dated 22nd of September 2021 only on Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparations. This is your one-stop solution for any news and updates which will help you prepare for your civil services examination, and along with that it is also going to be helpful for any other government services. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram for any other details. And now starting the first news with World Rhino Day. World Rhino Day is observed on 22nd of September in order to spread awareness for all 5 species of rhinos which are alive and the work which is being done in order to save these species. This particular news will be tagged under GS paper 3, which is related to conservation of species and government policies and interventions for the same. This day was first announced by the World Wildlife Fund, South Africa, in the year 2010. The species of rhino are on the verge of extinction due to persistent poaching and habitat loss over the several decades. There are 5 species of rhino: white rhinos, the black rhinos of Africa, the greater one-horned one, Javan, and the Sumatran rhino. Coming to their IUCN Red List status, white rhinos are near threatened. The black rhino, Javan and Sumatran rhino are critically endangered, and the greater one-horned rhino is in vulnerable state. So this year's theme is to keep the 5 alive. 5 means these 5 species. Major objectives includes strengthening the protection facilities, expanding the distribution range, research and monitoring of these species, and adequate and sustained funding in order to protect the species. Coming to the greater one-horned rhinos, these are also known as Indian rhino, and it is one of the largest species. It is identified by a single black horn and a grey-brown hide with skin folds. India is the home to the greatest number of, largest number of the greater one-horned rhinoceros in the world. They primarily graze with a diet consisting mostly of grasses as well as leaves, branches of shrubs and trees. At present, there are about 2,600 Indian rhinos in India, with more than 90% of these population concentrated in Assam's Kaziranga National Park. Their habitat is mostly restricted to small areas in the Indo-Nepal Terai and northwest Bengal and Assam. In India, the rhinos are mainly found in Kaziranga National Park, Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary, Orang and Manas National Park in Assam, then Jaldapara National Park and Gorumara National Park in West Bengal, and Dudhwa Tiger Reserve in Uttar Pradesh. Major threats includes poaching for horns, habitat loss, population density, and decrease in genetic diversity. Coming to the conservation efforts by India, first we have to mention the New Delhi Declaration on Asian Rhinos 201. India, Bhutan, Nepal, Indonesia and Malaysia, they have signed a declaration for the conservation and protection of these species. Then another project is the DNA profiles of all rhinos, which will help in curbing poaching and will also gather evidence in wildlife crimes involving rhinos. Next, we have the National Rhino Conservation Strategy. It was launched in the year 2019 in order to conserve the greater one-horned rhinos. Lastly, we have the Indian Rhino Vision of 2020. It was an ambitious effort in order to attain at least 3,000 numbers of the greater one-horned rhinos and to spread them over the 7 protected areas in the state of Assam by the year 2020. Now let us move ahead with the second news, which talks about 2 important missions, Aroma Mission and the Floriculture Mission. Recently, the Union Minister of State Science and Technology has proposed an integrated aroma dairy entrepreneurship for the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir to augment the income of farmers. Aroma Mission is also popularly known as the Lavender or Purple Revolution, which started from Jammu and Kashmir, and there it transformed the lives of the farmers by improving their financial condition. Floriculture Mission was also launched in 21 states and union territories. First of all, let us have a look at the Aroma Mission. The main objective of this mission is to promote the cultivation of aromatic crops for essential oils that are in great demand by the aroma industry. It also provides substantial benefits to the farmers in achieving higher profits. The nodal laboratory is CSIR-CIMAP, that is Central Institute of Medicinal and Aromatic Plants, Lucknow. There are some other participating laboratories also here, which includes CSIR Institute of Himalayan Bioresource Technology, Palampur, then the CSIR Indian Institute of Integrative Medicine of Jammu, etc. The scientific interventions here which are made under this mission, it provided assured benefits to the growers of certain areas where farmers are exposed to frequent episodes of weather extremes, and this accounts for maximum number of farmer suicides. Aromatic plants includes lavender, damask rose, etc. After the success of the first phase, CSIR IIIM Jammu has also announced Aroma Mission Phase 2 in February 2021, and it mainly focuses on setting up cooperatives for marketing, promotion of cultivation and processing of high value medicinal and aromatic plants. Next comes the floriculture mission. We all know floriculture is the branch of horticulture which deals with the cultivation, processing and marketing of ornamental plants and the maintenance of gardens so that the surrounding areas appears aesthetically pleasant. Here also the main objective is to focus on commercial floral crops, seasonal and annual crops, and cultivation of flower crops for honey bee rearing. Some of the popular crops includes gladiolus, chrysanthemum, carnations, marigold, rose, tuberose, etc. Along with CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, other implementing agencies which are involved here includes ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, then KVIC, Khadi and Village Industries Commission, etc. Floriculture, this mission is significant because floriculture has the potential to provide employment to a large number of people through nursery raising, then floriculture farming, entrepreneurship development for nursery trade, value addition as well as export. The next news is regarding Global Innovation Index of 2021. India has ranked 46th in the Global Innovation Index of 2021. The Global Innovation Index was launched by World Intellectual Property Organization, which is a special agency of the United Nations. This index aims to capture the multi-dimensional facets of innovation, ranking and rich analysis of over 132 economies. It is published in partnership with the Portulans Institute and other corporate partners. The index ranks world economies according to their innovation capabilities, and it consists of 80 indicators grouped into innovation inputs and outputs. Innovation inputs includes institutions, human capital and research, infrastructure, market sophistication as well as business sophistication. And outputs include knowledge and technology outputs, creative outputs, etc. Now coming to the top 5 performers, Switzerland, Sweden, United States and the United Kingdom continue to lead the innovation ranking, and they have all been in the top 5 position for the last 3 years. However, this time the Republic of Korea has joined the top 5 list for the first time in the year 2021. Coming to the Asian countries, 4 Asian economies which have been featured in the top 15 includes Singapore at the 8th position, China at the 12th position, followed by Japan at 13th and Hong Kong, China at 14th. India has also been on an upward trajectory over the past few years in this index, and it has shot up from a rank of 81 in 2015 to 46 in 2021. Next news is about third edition of the maritime exercise named Samudra Shakti between India and Indonesia, which is conducted from 20th to 22nd of September 2021 in the Sunda Strait of Indonesia. In pursuance of the India's Act East policy, this exercise was conceived in the year 2018 as a bilateral exercise, which mainly aims at strengthening the bilateral relationship. It will enhance the mutual understanding and interoperability in the maritime operations between the two navies. The participating Indian Navy ships includes Shivalik and Kadmat. Along with that, Indian aircraft P-81 is also participating in this exercise. Other exercises with Indonesia includes Garuda Shakti military exercise and the India-Indonesia Coordinated Patrol Corpet and the India-Indonesia Bilateral Maritime Exercise. One point here to be noted is that Garuda Shakti is a military exercise between India and Indonesia, and Garuda, only Garuda, is a bilateral air exercise between India and France. Anything which has a Shakti at the end, Samudra Shakti or Garuda Shakti, it is the bilateral exercise with Indonesia. But only Garuda is a air exercise, bilateral air exercise with India and France, between India and France. So this was all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it is helpful. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also don't forget to hit the bell icon so that you get notification each time we post a fresh video. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another segment of Current Affairs 365 only on Borthakur IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and MPSC preparations. Till then, take care, keep learning.
বৰঠাকুৰ IAS একাডেমি প্ৰস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা।
বৰঠাকুৰ IAS একাডেমি।